we can't get a day without something from the wide receiver formerly known as BA. And he went on TikTok and he's got a picture of the Commanders practice. And what does it all mean? What does it indicate? Are the Niners going to be penalized? Is Aiyuk going to be penalized? Did he do a bad thing by Jaden Daniels by putting that out there? He may have gotten Daniels in some trouble. But it's left us all to kind of just ask the question, what does it mean? What does it indicate? Should Lynch trade Aiyuk? Should he trade him to the Commanders? If he trades him to the Commanders, what should he ask for in return? Should the price for, Adam Peters be higher, than it would be to send him to an AFC team like the New England Patriots, where you could just basically almost banish him from the playoffs for the next 5 years? What do you think, Grant? What did you think when you first saw I saw you went live and you did a whole video on it, or a whole stream on it. What did you make of the TikTok picture of the Commanders practice from Brandon Aiyuk?
I think Brandon helped us understand the way he thinks when he went on that Pivot podcast with Ryan Clark. When Brandon has something he wants to say, he's very good at articulating it. He doesn't beat around the bush. He says exactly how he feels. He'll go on a podcast and talk about it for an hour. This felt like trolling. Like, hey, I like the attention. It's been a few days. Nothing's going on. Why don't I post a picture of my friend on TikTok and watch people freak out when I can just be like, that's my friend. That's my family. That's my brother. Like, I'm just excited for him doing well in Washington. It means absolutely nothing. That's kind of what I feel like he's doing. He admitted he likes the attention. He wants it every few days. And that was just a troll job from a guy who's like really stepping up his troll game. One troll to another, I got to give him respect. What do you think?
Well, I mean, whether he's trolling or not, I'm starting to believe him that he would like to be a Commander. And I'm starting to kind of ask myself the question, I like the Niners. I see the Niners as a better spot than the Commanders. But guess what? He may not. He may look at Brock Purdy as a nice quarterback, but one with limits. He may look at Jaden Daniels as a nice quarterback who's just a couple, games of experience away from being the next Patrick Mahomes. And he might be, Grant, he might be right. For all we know, Jaden Daniels is the next Patrick Mahomes. I kind of like Daniels and Penix the most of the quarterbacks in this draft. But I don't know that Daniels is going to be Mahomes. But what if he is? If he's Mahomes, then suddenly it's like, wait a second. Ayuk's a brilliant evaluator, and he, just as recognizing in 2024, July of 2024, what the rest of us aren't going to realize for maybe 6 months, that maybe Jaden Daniels is the next Mahomes, and maybe the Commanders are actually the Super Bowl contenders, and the Niners are past their window with a quarterback who can't get it done and a head coach that the moment's too big for. I mean, I don't know. It's like if your premise is wrong, your conclusion's wrong. Maybe our premise is just wrong.
Now, I believe he did say on the Pivot podcast that his first choice is to remain with the 49ers. So I don't know if you put how much stock you put into that, but I'll take him at his word. I do think his first choice is to get all the money from the 49ers. And I think he's sort of using Pittsburgh and really Washington as some sort of negotiating leverage. Like, hey, this team wants me. I like them. But I don't think there's anything Washington really has that the Niners want. Now, also, I think this goes down to John Lynch and Adam Peters. Someone would have to win that trade, and I don't think John Lynch wants to lose Brandon Aiyuk to Washington and be seen as losing the trade to his former underling. That can't happen. So that would be interesting is what if Washington offered their first round pick next year? They won 4 games last year. That might be something the Niners might want because that team could still suck. But I don't think Washington's going to offer their first round pick. I don't think they're going to offer Terry McLaurin. They might offer like Diami Brown and a second or something really disrespectful. And John Lynch isn't going to say yes. So I don't see that happening, even if Brandon wants.
Oh, did I just lose your audio?
I'm here.
Can I hear you? Oh no,
Yeah.
No. I wasn't sure if you.
I was
hit some button and turned off your audio. I don't know what to expect. I will say this: just looking at the Commanders from afar, it seems like, man, there's plenty of players that could make, a deal could be made here. I mean, the Niners, I'm sure would love Jonathan Allen. They have Deron Payne and they just drafted Johnny Newton. So there's some theorizing coming out of DC that maybe Jonathan Allen could be dealt. I'd take Jahan Dotson. I'd take Luke McCaffrey. Heck, if they wanted to move a corner, I'd take Emmanuel Forbes. They've got players on their team that, I mean, I would take Terry McLaurin. I just kind of wonder. I don't think they want to move Terry McLaurin. I think they want to hoard all their good players like all teams do. But what if the Commanders came and said, we'll give you Jonathan Allen and Luke McCaffrey and a conditional pick? And it's going to be like a 3rd, 4th, 5th conditional. Like, it's not going to be a 2 or a 1 conditional. It's going to be,
Larry,
if everything goes great, it's a 3rd. If everything goes poorly or whatever, it's a 5th. It's a 3rd, a 4th, or a 5th plus Jonathan Allen and Luke McCaffrey. Would you make that trade? I think,
Larry, I would have traded Aiyuk before the draft. I was pretty clear about that. So trading him now, I don't really understand it. Like, you just decided that he's too expensive. You just decided that it was the right move. I mean, if that's the move, and I think it was, then that's something you do in April. And I'm not really sure why the Niners didn't do it, unless Aiyuk's trolling. They're going to work this out. They're hammering out the final details of an extension that pays him $28 million roughly, with, I don't know, $50 million guaranteed. And this is all just Aiyuk really liking the spotlight. I think there's a possibility that's happening.
Wow.
Because remember, Debo signed at the end of July. So there's still 3 more weeks of drama that Brandon Aiyuk could milk, and he already said he wants to.
I know. Well, I mean, heck, if he's making a documentary, I mean, it could be all for the documentary.
Thank you. They need a good ending.
Yeah. I mean, seriously. And he does seem to be enjoying this. Let's be honest. He's enjoying this, whether he, I'm sure he wants to get paid, but he seems to be enjoying this.